Hello everyone and welcome to my video. Today we will be talking about graphite and some graphite stocks I have some potential in the future. So let's go right into it. We will first talk about how the US preps for a 93% tariff on graphite from China, which is one of the major suppliers, which is going to have a tremendous effect on the graphite industry, at least in America. The US is planning to implement a 93% tariff on graphite imports from China. Final determination will be announced by December 5th this year. Things can change between now and then, obviously, but why should you care? What is graphite and why should you even care? Lithium-ion batteries. Graphite is 48% of the battery, apparently, according to Sovereign Metal Limited presentation, which is one of the companies mentioned in this presentation, by the way. Graphite has a role in lithium batteries with storage capacity, stability, and volume, which is an excellent conductor of both heat and electricity, used in industrial sector, electronics, construction, and so forth. And it's also used in batteries, and the fact that as a society, batteries are just going to increase in utility due to data centers, computers, and more technological advancements. So seems like an interesting opportunity. Obviously it has rallied a little bit now, but I think there's an opportunity with this, and we will be talking about one American company and two African companies. Well, they are Canadian companies in Africa. So let's go right into it. There are two North American graphite companies, Graphite One Ltd and Northern Graphite Corp. I will talk more about Graphite One Ltd because it piqued my interest. Graphite One seems to have a tremendous graphite project, and it seems to be planning production by 2028, which sounds like a long time, but we are basically finished with 2025 almost. America's largest natural graphite resource, and it also has a pre-tax NPV net present value of $6.4 billion at 30% IRR. Obviously it's a long payback time, 7.3 years, but it's a tremendously large project. What was the saying from Rick Rule? It's a tier 1 project, if I remember correctly. And it seems to have over a 20-year mine life. That's insane. That's like a generational mine. And the fact that America and North America would need to be more independent from international sources, then this seems to be a company that could benefit the society and government tremendously. So I really liked it. Obviously it has rallied a little bit, since the tariff news about graphite, but I still think it has some upside potential. It seems very interesting, and it is in Alaska, and it's being supported by the government, and I think it has some massive upside potential. And it even has, according to what I read, Graphite One's Alaskan project has been put into Fast 41 permitting, which means it's being fast-tracked. Bear in mind it has rallied tremendously in the last 7 to 8 days. Bear that in mind, it's 21st of July. Now, let's go over to the two other companies that are in Africa. Not in North America, but I still find them interesting. Let's go right into it. The first one we're going to talk about is NextSource Materials. It has a whopping 100-year mine life, apparently, according to their website, at an 11,000 tons per annum, or KTP. And they apparently have a 23 million tons of measured mineral resource. You can see it on the screen here, and it seems to be the Molo mine is fully permitted and has already begun production in phase 1. They are ramping up their production as of now in Q1 2025. A quick rundown and showcasing companies that I think could have some potential due to the resource, and obviously I think long term. And bear in mind, if these are of interest, then bear in mind that these are probably long term. This is not crypto anyway, but it seems to be very interesting. Obviously I like these companies due to the fact that they are not in China, and the fact that America and China are probably going to be much with a Cold War would benefit us as investors. Focus on things that the government needs, and then they need to invest in, and then we can capitalize on, rare earths and uranium. I'm more interested in rare earth, uranium, and gold companies, because I think there's just an increasing utility growing and growing. But anyway, the company is also very interesting because it has vanadium, or the symbol is V205. They have 756 million pounds of vanadium, or V205 indicated, which is insane because this is a tiny company. So just that would make this company worthy of consideration. But anyway, let's talk about one company that Rick Rule has mentioned several times. Let's go. Now let's talk about a company that I've heard Rick Rule mention several times, which is a graphite company in Africa, which one of the major investors in this company is Rio Tinto at 19% shares. It has one of the largest graphite resource on the planet, second largest, and it has a tremendous titanium resource as well. And the fact that graphite is used in lithium-ion batteries, like we talked about earlier, and in foundries, or refractory and foundry, all of this is on their presentation on the website, which I highly recommend you read, or even considering any of these companies, is to read about the management, read about the companies, the resource, the financial status, will they be able to finance these, and so forth. And the thing is, this company, Sovereign Metals, has a net present value pre-tax of $2.3 billion. It also has an annual EBITDA of $409 million average. Now, the capex to first production is $665 million. Anyway, Anyway, $665 million in capex to first production, and the fact that they have a lower cost of production than China on average, which is tremendous because, you know, the fact that America is tariffing China and they are not tariffing Africa that much. So this might be an opportunity. Bear in mind, they are not producing at the current moment of making this video in July 2025. So bear that in mind. If you don't have a long time preference, then maybe these aren't of interest. Anyway, so this has one of the lowest, if not the lowest, cost to production of graphite in the world when they will be hopefully starting. And the fact that Rio Tinto, one of the largest mining companies on earth, has 10 to 20% of the company. And Rick Rule has also mentioned it several times. Seems to be a very interesting opportunity. Perhaps the definitive feasibility study will be published in Q4 2025, allegedly, hopefully, if everything goes to plan. Obviously, bear in mind, I'm not invested in either of these companies. I just read a news article about graphite being tariffed, and I thought I would make a video about companies I found to be interesting, and they seem cheap. That's what I'm trying to say, in my opinion. Bear that in mind. But the fact that it has one of the lowest, if not the lowest, cost of graphite on the planet. They have a tremendous titanium resource as well, which is also very useful. I think this company will do well in the future if they can get started. Anyway, I hope this has been of tremendous value to you. Have a kick-ass day. Peace.